Welcome to Learning Blockchain. In this tutorial, we will discuss about the failure and the recovery in Hyperledger Fabric blockchain technology. Whenever we start with the development of Hyperledger Fabric blockchain, we got to know the terms like endorsement, committing of the blocks, and there are different databases we got to know like state database, there are ledgers, there are history database. So in this tutorial, we will discuss about the process that how the endorsement occurs and how the committing occurs in the context of failure and recovery. So let's start. Let us move to the first slide. So there can be different scenarios in Hyperledger Fabric where a PR can fail, a PR can crash inside our system. So Fabric network can give inconsistent result for various reasons. Like there can be a storage access issue. Whenever any peer actually commits the block or writes the things inside the databases, they actually access that particular database, access that particular location. So there can be some access issue somehow via some network management tool, or there are some change in the network configuration, and there can be some mistakenly changes the access of that particular folder. So there can be some access issues via which a peer may not be access that particular location. And there also can be hardware failure where the state database or the ledger system is present, or maybe the operating system crash, machine failure due to various reasons. So there can be various of reasons via which a PR can crash a virtual machine or the machine in which the PR is running. Their system, their file system can crash and etc. So how we can overcome this particular failure, and how the Hyperledger Fabric is inherently designed to actually overcome this particular failure, that we will discuss in this lecture. And it is very interesting because Hyperledger Fabric is already designed to tackle those kind of situation. So as a deep dive, we need to know that how Hyperledger Fabric actually tackles this kind of failure scenarios. Let us move to next slide. So before discussing, you need to know one point, that is the save point. Save point is an internal recovery mechanism. Save point denotes the last block number that got committed, and the save point itself is stored inside the state database. So here we know one term, and this term is very important in the context of this failure and the recovery mechanism of Hyperledger Fabric. So whenever we first started with the Windows installation, if we can remember, there is something called the checkpoint, and we actually ran some kind of restore mechanism to actually restore the Windows to that particular point. So if you can relate that particular thing with the recovery mechanism of Hyperledger Fabric, then it will be easier for you. So after each state, after each process, some important process, Hyperledger Fabric also stores some useful data like save point, checkpoint info inside their file system or the databases. And whenever the peer restarts again after the crash, they actually take from that particular point that up to which they have saved their data, and after that they will fetch the relevant information from other peers and actually get all the informations from them and rebuild themselves to up to date with all the other peers of the same organization. So in that particular context, you need to know the term called save point, because we will use this particular term throughout the lecture. And basically, in a very nutshell, this save point denotes the last block number that got committed inside the Hyperledger Fabric blockchain technology. And Fabric uses save point as different point in validation and the committing phase. So let us move to the next slide. So this is one of the diagram, holistic diagram, which I have drawn to make you understand that where the save point occurs and what are the different context of Hyperledger Fabric blockchain. So basically, you can see there are two sections. The first section is the validation and the block creation, and the next section is the post ledger commit. So we all know that whenever the peers actually gets the blocks from the orderer, that after the block creation they got the blocks from the orderer, then they ran actually a series of validation. Also, when they got the block from the client side, then they do some kind of endorsement, and they write some kind of cryptographic signatures in the first phase. And in the second phase, whenever finally they got the block from the orderer, they do another set of validations. So basically, there are four processes mentioned in the first block. That is the validation and the block creation. There is gossip process. There is VSCC validation. There is MVCC validation. Then there is block store update. So I will describe each and every process of it in the next slides. But these are the internal process which actually PR is doing internally inside the Hyperledger Fabric, and via doing each of the process, whenever they are doing this kind of process, there can be some kind of failure at that particular point. So if there is some failure at the second stage, like VSCC validation, then how the peer recovers it, that I will discuss, because you need to know the internal methodology of Hyperledger Fabric blockchain, because it is very useful to know. Then you can get some kind of holistic idea that yes, how this Hyperledger Fabric blockchain works, and if my peer crashes, then how internally the Hyperledger Fabric is actually taken into consideration to get it up to date with all other peers block numbers and the state databases. So you can see there are four processes: gossip process, VSCC, MVCC, block store update. And after the block store update, there is another two very important databases which are getting updated. That is the state database and the history database. So state database is basically the world state. It is very popularly known as world state in Hyperledger Fabric, and this state database always maintain the current state of any asset. That if any key value pair, it always maintains the current state. And the history database, we all know that there is one function inside Hyperledger Fabric, that is get history by key. So this history database maintain that whenever there are the valid write transactions happened for that particular asset. Suppose my asset is A, so A is equal to 1 is the first, and then it moves to A is equal to 2, then A is equal to 3, something like that. So if we want to get the history, we can fetch this history from this history database, that yes, this particular asset has been moved from this particular number to this particular number. So this is the holistic view, but the main point is that in each of the state, the peer can fail, the peer can crash, and if the peer crashes, then how on restart they actually again get all the data from other peers and up to date with the blockchain technology. So let's move to the next slide. So first one is the gossip module. When the peer receives the block via the gossip process and check whether the block number is the safe point mentioned block number plus 1. If not, then it asks for the latest block from the other peers of the same organization. So suppose the orderer gives the block, or the peer receives the block from other peer, then the first thing they will check that whether that particular block is the latest block or not. If that particular block is not the latest block, then they will fetch the blocks from the other peers of the same organization. So this is the first level that the peer checks for the recovery mechanism. This is the first one. Okay, so save point mentioned block number. So I have written this particular point. So save point mentioned block number means whenever any block is committed inside the ledger, then there is an update in the state database about the latest block number. You can consider it as a save point. So if a peer got the block, then they match the save point mentioned number and his getting blocks number. If that is plus 1 with the save point number, then they can proceed with that particular block. Otherwise, they have to fetch the latest blocks from the peer. So this is the first level of validation which peer do whenever they get the blocks from the orderer for the further validations and the committing of the ledger. The next point is the validation system chain code. So in small, it is actually called as a VSCC. So so what is the purpose of this validation system chain code? We need to understand. So once the peer ensures that the block number calculation is correct, then it executes the VSCC chain code to check the endorsement policies are correct or not. So VSCC is basically a system chain code which is present inside the Hyperledger Fabric blockchain technology. It is not the application level chain code. So whenever the peer actually get the data, get the block, then it first checks via the gossip module that the set point plus one, it is set point plus one or not. If it is correct, then only it will go to this step, and this stage is they are calling the validation system chain code to check the endorsement policies. So, in a nutshell, if you don't know about the endorsement policy, then kindly go to the Hyperledger Fabric blockchain document to know about more this what is the endorsement policies and all about. And also, I have given some examples, some rough idea of about the endorsement policy in my another lecture of blockchain basics. So please look into it. And here I can tell in a very nutshell that endorsement policy is a kind of policy that whenever we are actually writing some operations, we are doing some kind of operation, we always mention that what are the organizations which need to actually uh, give the signature, give the permission that yes, if I sign this particular transaction, then this transaction will be valid. So these kind of policies are mentioned that yes, organization 1 and organization 2 both needs to sign this particular transaction, then only this transaction will be stated as valid. So this is a very rough idea of the endorsement policy. So here via the validation system chain code, the peer ensures that the endorsement policies are correct or not. But one thing you need to know that if a peer crashes at that point, then after the restart, means whenever you restart the peer again, then the peer fetches the latest block via the gossip module. No save point based recovery done here. So basically, the save point based recovery means if in this particular moment the peer crashes and if you restart the peer, then it does not mean that whatever he has done using the gossip module that will be stored. It is not. It will again start from the gossip module, and it will again check that whether the block is latest or not. If not, then they will fetch from the other peers. Okay, so it will go to the previous step again, and from the previous step it will start working again. So this is the basic idea of the validation system chain code. The next point is the MVCC. So MVCC is another chain code which actually do the multi-version concurrency control mechanism. So MVCC checks the transaction read set is same as in the state database. So here you need to know two things. One is the read set and another point is the state database. So read set is a kind of thing like whenever we are doing some kind of transactions, we are changing the value of a particular asset. Like suppose a is equal to 1 is being changed to a is equal to 2. So the read set is a is equal to 1 and the write set is a is equal to 2. So if you change via the transaction, right? So as you know that the state database is a database, as I have mentioned, that it always stores the latest value of that particular asset inside the state database. That means a is equal to 1 will be stored inside the state database, and the transaction is changing the value to a is equal to 2. So the write set is a is equal to 2 and the read set is a is equal to 1. So MVCC means this particular chain code actually checks that whether whenever they receives the transaction, in that particular transaction the read set and write set both are mentioned. So they actually validate that the read set is same as it is present inside the state database or not. In the next point I have written, remember the state database maintain the current state of assets, as I have mentioned. If a peer crashes at that point after the restart, then peer fetches the latest block via the gossip module. No save point based recovery done here. So it is exactly same. If the peer crashes while they are doing this kind of calling the MVCC chain code, this particular system chain code, then then will be no such kind of mechanism that already VSCC has been done, because this is sequential. First one is gossip, then VSCC, then MBCC. So there is no point or no checkpoint present, no save point present actually, that it will know that okay, I have already done the VSCC and I have moved to this MBCC. No, this is not present inside Hyperledger Fabric. They will start again from that particular one, that is from the gossip module. So up to stage 3 you can consider that if any, if in this particular 3 stages, if the PR crashes, then it will again start from the gossip module 1. Okay, so let us move to the next slide. Next point is the block store update. So we already done the VSCC check, and for a consideration we are considering that it is passed, and MBCC check is also passed. Now this is the main point where the PR commits the block, the actual ledger, the actual blockchain. So the blockchain is actually stored as a file system inside the Hyperledger Fabric. So you can actually mention it as a file system or RAM. So basically everyone uses the file system, and that is the convention. So whenever we commit the block, means we are writing inside the file system, and we are appending one extra information to the existing data. So check can be pass or fail, but in any case, the block is committed to the ledger with the indicator of fail or pass. So basically, whenever the block comes, then you can consider the endorsement fails. And after that, whenever it goes to the MVCC, then you can consider that like the read set is not matching with the state database. It can happen. The failure thing can happen. But in any case, the block will be committed, because we have to indicate, we have to maintain it that okay, there was some transaction which tries to actually do some kind of bad manipulation, or somehow the resets are not matching, the endorsement policies are not matching. So this kind of information we also need to be kept inside the blockchain system. So in any way, the blocks will be committed, the blocks will be stored inside the file system. Now the last point, that if a PR fails while storing a validated block to the block storage, the recovery mechanism in block storage would take care of consistency during the PR startup. So now we know about the block store update, that okay, the peer actually commits the block inside the blockchain. But this is very vital point, that while committing the peer crashes, then what the Hyperledger will do? So here they will not go up to the gossip module and do all the things. Here there is a special thing called the save point and the checkpoint info. So here in the last point, if you see the last line, that similar to the save point for the state database, the block storage maintains a checkpoint info. So there are two things for the recovery mechanism you need to understand. One is the save point and another is the checkpoint info. So till now we don't have any information about the save point. I have never told that in any of the previous stage like gossip, MBCC or VSCC we are storing the save point. It will come after this stage. But for the block store, for the ledger data, they maintain a separate index, a separate information as a checkpoint info. You can see the last word of the slide, that is the checkpoint info. So checkpoint info is being internally maintained by this particular block storage or the ledger data, right? So if you want to know more about this checkpoint info, let us go to the next slide. So in this slide, if you see that I have actually taken the snippet from the core Hyperledger Fabric blockchain source code, which is written in Golang. And if you can see the URL, that is it is actually present inside the common ledger BLK storage, fs BLK storage, blockfilehelper.go. So inside the blockfilehelper.go, if you see one particular function is present, that is the construct checkpoint info from block files. So it is done internally. It is not an application level or something, but it is very good to know that how a peer actually recovers if it crashes during the committing phase. So While committing phase, so there is a special recovery or special information is being present, that is called the checkpoint info inside the ledger. And if you see the first line of the comment of the Hyperledger Fabric core blockchain, that is the construct checkpoint info from block file, scan the last block file and construct the checkpoint info. So whenever you commit any block, actually one checkpoint info is being generated. And if the last file contains no block or only a partially written block, potentially because of a crash while reading or writing. So basically this particular function actually creates the checkpoint info, and if there is the last file contains no block or partially written block, then there is some internal recovery mechanism which is written using the Go code, that how it can actually recover the information, how it can actually recover the information from the ledgers of other peers and etc. So this is the course snippet. You can go through it. You can there are several informations are present, several indications are there, and you can go through it, you can understand. But the main thing you need to understand, that constraint checkpoint info from block files is the particular method which is taking care of that particular checkpoint info. And if there is some crashing mechanism, then also they fetch the information of the last file. And if something is missing, then they are actually checking the ledger of other peers. Let us move to the next slide. Now, up to this, if everything is fine, like suppose I have committed, the peer have committed the block inside the ledger, and the ledger committing is successful, the new block has been appended, everything is there. After that, two very important things are done, as I have mentioned in my second slide, that is the state database update plus the save point update. So here the save point thing is coming, that once the block storage is committed, then the write set is updated inside the state database. After that, the save point is updated inside the state database. So once the block is committed inside the ledger, after that the write set of that particular transaction is being updated inside the state database. And after that, there is a update of the save point. The first time we are updating the save point. So save point basically is the block number, that what is the block number, latest block number which is present inside the state database. Peer can crash in any one of the above mentioned point. That is during the updation, that whenever you are writing the write set to the state database, or you are updating the save point inside the state database, in any one of this particular operation, the crash can happen. In that case, when the peer is up again, it will search for the last save point and get all the write set from the block storage and update the state databases and the save point. So if the peer is restarting again, then at that particular point it will search for the last save point from the state database. It will search in the state database, it will get the save point, and after that it will go to the block storage, that is the ledger. Ledger is our main immutable source of truth. So it will go to the ledger or the block storage, and from there it will fetch all the information, the write sets, and it will store inside the state database, and also it will update the save point. In the same way, there is a history database update plus the save point update. So history database maintains the index to block store for all valid transaction write sets. So here I have emphasized the word called valid, because as I have told, the blocks can be committed with the valid endorsement policy, or invalid means if the checking is a failure, means in the check tells that no, this is not a valid transaction, then also we'll commit the block over there. But if the transaction is valid and everything is fine, the endorsement policy is fine, the MBCC check is fine, the VSCC check is fine, then actually it got the validation status, that yes, this transaction is valid and we can consider A is equal to 1 to A is equal to 2. So these kind of all the valid transactions are maintained inside the history database. Basically they maintain the index. So suppose the block 1 contains the updation or the data of A is equal to 1, but the block 2 got some kind of endorsement failure. But again in the block 3, the everything is fine and A is equal to and A updated to 2, the value 2. So in that particular case, it will maintain the index of the first block, then it will maintain the index to the third block. So all the valid transaction, the indexes are present inside the history database. So if we run that command, that get history by key, then it will fetch the data from the block number 1 and the block number 3 in our particular example. And after that, the save point is updated inside the state database. In the same way, inside the history database and the state database cases also, the save point has been updated. And in the next thing is that if the peer crashes in any one of the above mentioned point, in that case, when the peer is up again, it will search for the last save point and get all the valid write sets from the block storage and update the history database and the save points. So it is exactly same as the state databases, that it will search in the ledger again and it will update their databases, that is the history database. It will update the indexes to the valid transaction and it will also update the save point inside the history database. So in this way, the Hyperledger Fabric actually internally maintaining the recovery mechanism, that if a peer is crashing and if you are starting again, then how this particular peer will know that from where I will need to start. So the two main things are there as a summary. One is the save point and another is the checkpoint info. Also in this tutorial, you got to know about the history database, how it works, and the MBCC chain code and the BSCC chain code. Hope you have liked this tutorial. If you want to get more this kind of tutorial, then kindly subscribe to our channel and share this video as much as possible. Thank you very much.